Hi, welcome to Brady's Blunders, where I show you the mistakes in my games, hoping you don't make the same ones in yours. And this video is a continuation of the game that I started in the last one. And today we're going to talk a little bit about reduction or invasion. And I just played at the top. So Black played here, growing his right-hand side. I defended, and then Black played here. And this is the game problem. If you were white, where would you play now? Go ahead and pause the video if you like. Okay, first I'll tell you what I thought and then show you what I played, and then I'll go ahead and show what some better alternatives might have been. And so when I looked at the board, I looked at this sector line here, and I thought, what happens if I play outside the sector line? And I looked at this, and I figured, wow, if Black gets this, then he's going to get at least 15 lines of probably 6-line territory, or say 5 lines of territory, but that would be, huge. That's a ton of points. 5th line territory, 4 times 15 is 60, but really it's probably a line above that, so maybe 70, and that's just a ton of points. Maybe even it's better than that. So playing outside just felt too soft, and I thought, well, what happens if I play here? And I felt it was pretty much the same, that I would be giving up, at least 60 points of territory, and I didn't like it at all. So then I said, wow, I can't give up that many points this early in the game, so I have to do something more dramatic, even if I feel it's too deep. And I did feel this was too deep as I played it. And Black, without thinking, said, ha, I'm going to kill you. And this is just an awful result for White. It was a complete overplay. The reality is I should die. And we'll get into that a little bit in the next video of what happened. But even if I don't die, if Black just gets to keep most of his house and get a whole bunch of outside stones threatening the rest of the board, this would still be a good result for Black. And yeah, my play was just not reasonable. So clearly, if I wanted to prevent Black from getting this big, I should have done it in the last video, and I had that opportunity and didn't do it. So what are some other ways I could play? What's less greedy, less overplayish? Well, one thing we're taught is when you've got competing moyos, right? Black's got one here and I've got one here, is to play at the junction line between the two, right? So this is a move that we both like to play. Black would like to play it because it grows his, and I like to play it because it grows mine. So this is a reasonable start. And then Black will close his off. And rather than pushing, let's leave the area open for a bit and see if I can mess around. There's several things to understand about this position. One of which is the corner is open. This corner is open. I will be able to jump in here and live. It will almost certainly be Gote, but it's big. And that means that Black does not have coast-to-coast territory yet, 19 lines. This corner is reducible, but not by much. Like I can push here and he can block. And, the cutting point may be annoying, but I probably am not going to get much out of it. Just a little bit of endgame. Another thing to note about Black's position is that this move is thin. He did a large knight's move instead of a regular knight's move, and that means it's extra easy to cut. And large knight's moves aren't really good at taking territory if you attack them right. So in this position, with the fact that he's played the large knight's move, I can play here. And this is, I think they say this is playing on the ears of a stone, right? If you can get stones on both sides of his. Thank you. If you can get stones on both sides of a stone like this, it's playing on the ears and allows you to do several things. One of which is I may be able to cut that stone off. Another one of which is I may be able to build a wall on the other side. But this is a really common shape in terms of trying to take advantage of Black's thickness. Black can't really block off the right-hand side like this, right? Because he's just inviting me to keep splitting, and wherever he doesn't protect, I can just keep pushing. So this wouldn't be good shape for Black. So if instead he plays a little bit further back, then I've already, to some extent, achieved my purpose of shrinking the right-hand side or limiting it. And I can go ahead, and probably the best thing for me to do now is to jump in the corner and just take the points. And the reality is Black still has a problem in his shape. And later on, I can go ahead and take advantage of it by playing a move like this, asking, hey, Black, what do you want? And if Black answers this way, then I can, again, come over here. And I'm threatened to either push in or I'm threatened to cut off Black. So obviously Black can't let me cut off this stone, right? So if he helps it, now I can march into his territory. And if he tries to capture me, then I can come out this way. And now you see the purpose of why I exchanged A for B. And it gives me two directions to run. It means this group can't be harassed too badly. And it means that Black's really unhappy because I'm now inside his house. So this would be really good. I'm actually not good at finding this sort of move, this A for B exchange, before moving on to what I really want, knowing that this will help. But it's pretty cool to see here. All right. To be honest, though, with you, is I'm not entirely comfortable with this situation, because if Black just plays something like this, I don't know. That Black house just looks huge, and I'm not confident as a player that I'm going to be able to get as much in the lower left and the top, and the left-hand side, to equal it out. I probably should be confident, but I'm not. So do I have an easier approach than playing on that junction? Well, what if I threaten Black's connection directly? So notice I'm threatening the connection. I'm not cutting the connection. And if Black goes ahead and defends his territory like this, then I've cut A off, and I'm happy. Right? This is all good. So probably Black will defend and connect. And that's his price for playing the thin move, is he needs to spend an extra move to fix it. And now I can just fall back this way and be pretty comfortable with the game. The reason I like this move is there's no way for Black to surround me easily in a single move. This isn't going to surround me. I can get out this way, and if he plays on this side, I can come out to the left. So this, this wooden space jump this way is pretty nice and safe, and actually lets me then come further into his right side later. So slow and steady in this case looks pretty good. Okay, are there any other ways? Well, what about that move that earlier I rejected because I thought this would be terrible if he got to play this? Is it really so bad? What about this as a follow-up? Now that we've seen how thin this is, let's say Black comes and protects it, and now I play here. Well, this looks pretty playable, doesn't it? It's me who's also building a giant moyo. And these two stones look pretty safe, and Black can still be further reduced. So my jumping in as far as I could, to the point where I was in an all-in battle when he capped me, was definitely an overplay and clearly not necessary. So, concluding thoughts, what did I learn? Well, number one, when one player invests just a ton of stones in an area, it's unreasonable to expect them to get nearly nothing, right? And the fact is, Black had played all of his stones so far in the game for this one part of the board, and it's not unreasonable for him to expect 50 or 60 points. And it's not unreasonable for me to give him that many points. So don't be selfish, don't be greedy. Number two is find a way to take advantage of your opponent's thinness, right? When he created that AB connection, That was thin, and I should be able to take advantage of it. Even if I'm not cutting it, just the threat to cut it may be enough to find a good continuation. Right, that's what I got out of it. I hope you got something out of it too. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.